Outside the box for some last minute healthy gift ideas for everyone on your list. We all say no, new year, new me, right? But you're going to help us make that a reality, right?
That's right.
All right, so let's talk about sleep, because that is important. I'm getting so much of it now, Dr. Mike, with my baby at home. I'm getting so much of that. But what are some last minute gifts to help people get better sleep?
And you know, one thing we think about sleep, especially as a cardiologist, is that sleep is connected with heart disease. So the lower your duration of sleep, the higher risk of heart disease. So this is really important. So think about things that help people with sleep, like eye masks and noise canceling earphones or earbuds or those headsets, and also a luxe pair of pajamas, those kinds of things that can help soothe you and get you to sleep, because sleep is directly related to your health.
What about a noise machine? Like, because my son has that in his room, and now we hear it through the baby monitor, and I can't sleep without it.
That white noise machine, also helpful, can be helpful.
All right, so mental health is also important. It's physical health when you think about it, but what do you suggest for anyone suffering from anxiety in particular?
So, you know, if we look at these weighted blankets, and people have talked about them, but actually there's a little bit of science behind them, because they calm the automatic nervous system, lower your heart rate, lower your pulse. And the rule of thumb generally for these weighted blankets is they should be between 12 and 20 pounds. And that means if you want to calculate it, it's about 10% of your body weight. And it sort of acts by giving you a hug.
Like that.
And it calms you down, calms down that nervous system, and you seem to be a little bit better. Think about that as well with pets. Now, obviously, you want to ask ahead of time before you give someone a pet, but pets and plants, music, books, these are all things to help with anxiety. This is a crazy time of year, fun, but can be a little bit crazy too.
Yeah.
So think about that as well.
Yeah, I'm checking off things on my list, but adding more at the same time, and it's
That's
just
right.
all right, so what about friends that are your active friends? I'm assuming not an Apple Watch, because we know that those are no longer right now.
Well, you know, aside from the smartwatches, think about things like gym membership. But here's some things to think about. Think about giving somebody the gift of water, maybe a 6-month supply of water. We all need to be so hydrated, and the body is primarily composed of water. But also the other things are things like a yoga mat. So these are all things you can think about with regard to people who maybe want to be active and are active, including that electronic scale for your friends who are really working towards their New Year's resolution and what their ideal weight is going to be.
Yeah, that is a really good way to just support that friend, support that family member from afar too. So loneliness, we're talking about a lot about this, especially post-pandemic, you know, because we a lot of people haven't come out of that just yet, that loneliness factor. But that has a big impact on our health as a whole. So what are some gifts for people who may feel a bit isolated or lonely right now?
That's right. And you know, maybe we can help jumpstart socializing and think about things like maybe a salsa class. If that's too much, maybe your friend is a little bit more health health-minded towards their friends, and maybe think about CPR, a gift that they can learn and then give to others. So take a CPR class. Maybe things like cooking classes, and for people who are associated with their universities and college, there's always a local chapter. Those chapters tend to be very active. Monthly socials, monthly get-togethers. Think about rejoining your university or college local chapter. And if you've got a friend that drives a fancy car, those car clubs as well are not very expensive. Give a gift of a car club, and you can start to socialize and meet those people as well.
Awesome.
Low impact, low stress.
Great ideas. Dr. Morgan, as always, thank you so much for all those tips. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, well,